Hi there, my name's Matthew, and this is Grainy Brews. Well, that wasn't a very good sip. We can do better than that. Oof. So, last weekend, I did a workshop with Leica Akademie here in Melbourne, Australia. The class was being run by Jesse Marlow, who is a very renowned Melbourne street photographer. You could really tell that this guy has been doing this thing for like 25 years at this point. It was very interesting seeing his process and the way that he worked getting some of the images for his work and then applying that to a teaching environment. Before the workshop began, Marlo did a presentation on some of the work that he has done in Melbourne. And it was very cool when we actually got out to hit the streets and he could recall perfectly where he got some of these fantastic photographs. To build that level of work over that period of time just goes to show that it's really just a game of patience. I was actually lucky enough to win the coveted hat challenge, where whoever took the best photo of someone wearing a hat could win one of Jesse's books. And I was lucky enough to win a book. I was like, okay, this is happening, cool. There's a lot of really nice stuff in this book. If you're at all familiar with Marlo, he definitely, I think his most popular book is Don't Just Tell Them, Show Them. And this book it's like a precursor to that book. You look at some of the images, they're all in black and white, and you can see like the quirkiness and some of the humor that comes through in his photos. And it's very interesting to see how he's explored that, because this is the body of work takes place before his body of work in Don't Just Tell Them. I really like some of these shots. There's great use of light and symmetry. The characters in the book are really fascinating to see. I'm sure that when Marlo was out on the streets back in the late 90s, early 2000s, that he was probably thinking the same thing I was, like, oh, is this anything, blah, 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 going through the the motions of it all. And yeah, it was really cool. I highly recommend anyone do these street photography courses if you are at all interested in street photography. Oh, I didn't talk about the camera I got to use for the class. So I rocked up to the class with my Fujifilm X-T4. Well, that's not gonna fly, honestly. You go into a Leica workshop with a Fujifilm, like, dude, who do you think you are? That's child's play. We use big boy toys in this workshop. Thank you very much. That's not actually what they said, don't. And I got to use a Leica Q3. I remember when the original Q came out, like, I saw the price and I think a lot of people just looked at that camera and just thought, what is the point? It's a ridiculous amount of megapixels, especially in the Q3, for a fixed lens camera. That costs $10,000 here in Australia. Like, what? That makes no sense. But, you know, after using the Q3, well, let's just say I was trying to justify buying one as soon as the class finished. Like, you can pick up any brand new camera these days, and it's gonna give you a great image straight off the bat. But the Q3? Man, 60 megapixels, 14-bit color. Like, who would have thought that would be good? Of course it's good. What do you mean, Matt? The files are just insane. 60 megapixels is so much to work with. And coupled with that full frame 28mm lens, like, it's sensational. More than whatever I would need for most purposes. But man, $10,000. That's a lot of clams. That's a lot of dollary-doos. I can't buy one tomorrow, don't get me wrong. Would I buy one in the future? So another thing I wanted to talk about was what this channel is. Well, Quite frankly, I don't really know what it is. It's a photography channel, number one. It's a place for me to talk about things I'm interested in when it comes to photography. Some of you have probably noticed that the channel is called Grainy Brews. Well, in fact, I really hope all of you know that it's called Grainy Brews because it says it on the bottom of the page. What am I saying? And the reason it's called that is it's an intersection of film photography and coffee. Not an original concept by any stretch. And right now I have absolutely no idea how to do the two because, well, I don't know if you've noticed, but film photography is very expensive now. And I haven't shot a roll of film in 3 months now. That's pretty bad. I guess that means that Grainy Brews isn't over by any means, but I definitely have to rethink what the actual purpose of the channel is now. But the thing is, that's exciting for me because now I get to figure out what it becomes. It can really change and be whatever I want it to be because, well, if I was confined to one thing, that would be boring for you and it'd be boring for me. So let's see where it goes. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one.